Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make another YouTuber statue. This time, I'll be showing you how to make Squaishey Quack. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. By the way, if you have any more YouTuber statue related needs, feel free to check out the card system and the link below in the description for my YouTuber statue tutorial playlist. That's right, that thing actually exists. There's quite a lot of them in there. Feel free to check it out if you've never seen it before. But now that all of that's out of the way, if you want to make Squaishey, here's what you're going to need. You will need some yellow stained clay, some orange stained clay, grab hardened clay, then grab orange wool, yellow wool, white wool, dark blue, cyan, and finally grab yourself some black wool. And once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out what you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off Squaishey with this sequence of blocks in a row on the floor. Do 3 orange wool, 2 yellow wool, 3 orange wool, just like that, to give you the base row of the front of your Squaishey statue. And once you have that row taken care of, you then want to do this for the next 2 rows. We actually want to do the exact same thing for the next 2 rows, guys. So on top of this one, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And on this left hand side as well, 1, 2. We've just added the first base row on top of itself 2 times, just like that. Once you've done that, this is what you want to do for the next row. So starting from the left hand side, do 1 orange wool, then 2 orange clay, 2 yellow wool, 2 orange clay, 1 orange wool. For the next row, do 2 orange clay, 4 yellow wool, 2 orange clay. For the next 6 rows, do 6 solid rows of yellow wool. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we've just got to fill these in. So we've just got to do, we're about halfway done already. We've just got 3 more rows to do. That'll be 2, and that will be 1. Perfect. Once you have your 6 rows of yellow wool, this is what you want to do for the next row. Do 2 yellow, then 1 regular clay, then 2 yellow, 1 regular clay, then 2 yellow. Just like that. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 4 clay, 3 yellow. Perfect. Now, once you've done this row, this is what you want to do to that row. Extend that row out by 4 either side of the row, left and right, with your yellow wool. Just do 2 rows of 4 yellow wool going left and right of that row. That's just marking out where Squaishey's arms are going to be, and that'll help us out a little bit later on. Once you've done that, we can continue up the torso. We're only going to be focusing on these 8 middle blocks. We'll find a use for these later. So, for the next row of the torso, do 1 clay, then 2 white wool, 3 clay, 2 yellow wool. For the next row, do 1 clay, 1 white, 4 clay, 2 yellow. For the next row, do 1 white, 2 clay, 1 white, 3 clay, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 1 white, 3 clay, then 2 white, 1 clay, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 1 white, 1 clay, 1 white, 2 clay, 1 white, 1 clay, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 2 clay, 1 white, 2 clay, 1 white, 1 clay, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 2 clay, 1 white, 2 clay, 1 white, 1 clay, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 3 clay, 1 white, 1 clay, 1 white, then do 1 clay, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 5 clay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then do 1 white, then 2 yellow. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 4 clay, 3 yellow. And for the final row of the torso, just do an entire row of yellow wool to give you something which should look a little bit like this. And don't worry guys, that's actually the hardest part of this tutorial, 100% fully done. That is really the most difficult part. Once you've reached this point right here, we can now do the arms. So come all the way over to this right arm first of all, and building on top of this first row of yellow wool, you then want to do another row of yellow. For the next row, going from left to right, do 1 yellow wool, 1 yellow clay, 2 yellow wool. For the next row, do 2 yellow clay, 2 yellow wool. For the next row, do 1 yellow clay, 3 yellow wool. For the next 2 rows, do 1 white, 1 yellow clay, 2 yellow wool. And like I said, that's for 2 rows, so do that to 1, then do the exact same thing just above it. For the next 3 rows, do 1 yellow, 1 white, 2 yellow. And like I said, that's for 3, so that'll be 1, 2, 3. Then we just have to add in the other 2 rows, just like that. For the next row, do 1 yellow clay, 2 white wool, 1 yellow wool. And for the final row of the arm, do 1 yellow clay, 3 yellow wool to give you something which should look a little bit like this. Once you've got that first arm taken care of, we now want to go and do the exact same thing all the way over on the opposite side now. So coming all the way over to the opposite side on top of this first row of yellow wool that we have right here, you want to do another row of yellow, followed by 2 yellow wool, 1 yellow clay, 1 yellow wool. For the next row, do 2 yellow wool, 2 yellow clay. For the next row, do 3 yellow wool, 1 yellow clay. For the next 2 rows, do 2 yellow wool, 1 yellow clay, 1 white wool. And like I said, that's for 2, so do it to 1, then do the exact same thing just above it. For the next 3 rows, do 2 yellow wool, 1 white wool, 1 yellow wool. And like I said, that's for 3, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, and then we just have to do the exact same thing just around it. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 2 white, 1 yellow clay. For the final row of the arm, do 3 yellow wool, 1 yellow clay to give you something which should in total look a little bit like this. There you go guys, that is the entire front of your Squaishey statue, 100% fully completed. Once you've reached this point right here, we can now move all the way around the back and we can get to work on that. So pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've got all of that taken care of, you can then come all the way around to the back of your Squaishey and come all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. Coming out of each end of the bottom of your statue, you want to do this sequence of blocks. So out of the left bottom corner first, do 2 orange wool, then 1 yellow, and then the exact same thing out of the right hand corner. So 2 orange wool, 1 yellow, just like that. And then what you want to do once you have those 2 sequences of wool is connect them together with this sequence of blocks. So starting from the left hand side here, do 1 orange clay, then 4 orange wool, then 1 orange clay. And what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this. The way that this is going to work, guys, is we're now going to build up the entire back of the statue on top of these 8 back blocks that we have right here. Very much how we just did the entire front of the statue. Then we'll do both sides, then the head, then we'll be done. Let's continue, shall we? So for the second row of the back of the statue, do a single yellow wool on the ends of your row, and then do orange clay everywhere else in between. For the next 2 rows, going from left to right, do 1 yellow wool, 1 orange clay, 4 orange wool, 1 orange clay, 1 yellow wool. And like I said, that's for 2 rows, so just do that to the row just above it like this to give you like this kind of weird H looking shape like this. Now once you've reached this point right here, all you have to do to completely fill in the rest of the back of your Squaishey statue is just make the entire rest of the back yellow wool. So all you have to do is just do rows and rows of yellow wool that equal the height of the front of your statue on top of what you've already done, and that will be that. Of course, we also have to do the backs of the arms, which are ever so slightly different, but we will do that in just a second. seconds. So all you have to do is your many rows of yellow wool. I can't even tell you how many there are. All you want to do is your many rows of yellow wool, and you'll end up with something that should look exactly like this. And it is as simple as that, guys. That's all you want to have. Now, once you've done that for yourself, and obviously pause this if necessary, if you are still working on that, we can now do the backs of the arms. So we'll start on this left-hand side first of all, and we want to kick off the backs of the arms first with 2 rows of 4 yellow. So it's easy to see where they go because they're in the exact same position on the back as they are the front. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we want to have another row. So we want to have 2 rows of yellow, like so. Now, for the next 6 rows, do these blocks. So do 2 yellow, 1 white, 1 yellow. So you want to have 6 rows of this. So that'll be the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then we can just fill the rest of those rows in with yellow wool, like that. For the next 2 rows, do 2 yellow wool, 2 white wool. So that's the first row, and then that's the second row, just above it. For the next row, do 2 yellow, 1 white, 1 yellow. And for the final row of the back of the arm, you just want to do an entire row of yellow wool. And what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this, nice and simple. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. We now want to do the other arm, the exact same thing all the way over on this opposite side here. So coming to this opposite side, starting from this block right here, obviously you guys just have to match the bottom of the arms. You want to start off with 2 rows of yellow wool. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just want to do the exact same thing just above it. So you just want to have your 2 rows of 4 yellow wool. Then for the next 6 rows, you want to have this sequence of blocks. Do 1 yellow, 1 white, 2 yellow. So that's the first row, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then we can just fill the rest of it in with yellow wool. So you just want to have 6 rows of that. Then for the next 2 rows, starting from the left hand side, of course, do 2 white wool, then 2 yellow, and like I said, that's for 2, so do it to 1, then do the exact same thing just above it. Then for the next row, do 1 yellow, 1 white, 2 yellow. And for the final row of the back of the arm, just do an entire row of yellow wool. And what you want to end up with in total is something that should look a little bit like this. I know it's very plain looking, guys, but hey, that is the statue. That's exactly what it should look like. Alright, so once you have the back of the statue completely taken care of, we can now move on to the sides of the statue. So moving all the way over onto this side of the statue first of all, and coming all the way down to the bottoms of the feet, this is what we're going to do to fill in the side of the legs. So on top of this row of 2 orange wool, you want to stack 3 more rows of 2 orange wool. So that'll be 1, 2, 3 stacked directly on top of it. You then just want to fill the rest of this leg section in completely with yellow wool, like that. Nothing difficult about that whatsoever. Once you've got the legs filled in, we can now move up to the sides of the arms. So, sides of the arms, first of all, we just want to fill in the bottoms of the arms with yellow wool, just like that. We then want to, on top of this left yellow wool block, want to do an entire row of yellow wool, just coming up vertically, like that. Now, you don't want to do the exact same thing to the right one. The right one has a little bit of white in it. So, on top of this right-hand yellow wool that we have right here, do this sequence of blocks. Do 1 yellow, 2 white, 1 yellow, 4 white, then make the rest of the arm yellow. So that is what you want to have for the sides of the arms. Very simple indeed, guys. And of course, once you've got the sides of the arms done, you then want to come all the way up to the tops of the arms, and you just want to fill in the tops of the shoulder with yellow wool. And you want to come in by 3, no more, no less, although you can if you want to, that's your choice, but 3 will do it. So this is what the entire side of your statue wants to look like once it's been 100% fully completed. There you go, guys. Extremely easy. And of course, once you've got that first side taken care of, we can now move all the way over onto the opposite side and do the exact same thing. So quite literally the exact same thing on top of these 2 orange wool. Do 3 rows of 2 orange, 1, 2, 3, then fill the rest of the legs in with yellow wool, like so. Then moving up to the sides of the arms, we just want to do a row of yellow just for the bottom of the hands, just like that. Then on top of this right hand yellow wool here, we can just do an entire row of vertical yellow wool. Then on top of this left hand block, we want to do 1 yellow, 2 white, 1 yellow, 4 white, make the rest of the arm yellow, and of course coming up to the top of the shoulder we want to come in by 3 with our yellow and just fill both of those spaces in. And what you want to end up with for the second side of your statue is something that should look exactly like that, and of course that is an exact copy of the first side of the statue. Odds are if you manage to do one, you can manage the other. Now once you have both sides of your statue 100% fully completed, we can now move on to the final part, which is the head, of course. So come all the way around to the front of the statue and come all the way up to the top of the torso. You're going to want to kick off Squaishey's head with a row of 8 yellow wool on top of the 8 middle blocks of the torso, like so, just directly on top of the 8 middle blocks of the torso. What you then want to do is 2 additional rows of 8 yellow wool in front of that first row, so that'll be 1 and 2 coming directly out in front of that first row. We're now going to build up on top of this second row, this most outward row, and we're going to build Squaishey's entire face. So for the second row of Squaishey's head, you want to do 1 yellow wool, 1 yellow clay, 1 yellow wool, 2 orange clay, 1 yellow wool, 1 yellow clay, 1 yellow wool. For the next 2 rows, do 1 yellow, 1 yellow clay, 4 orange clay, 1 yellow clay, 1 yellow wool. And like I said, that's for 2 rows, so once you've got the first one taken care of, do the exact same thing just above it. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 1 cyan, 1 dark blue, 2 yellow, 1 dark blue, 1 cyan, 1 yellow. For the next row, do 1 black wool, 1 white, 1 black, 2 yellow, 1 black, 1 white, 1 black. For the next row, do 1 yellow, 2 black, 2 yellow, 2 black, 1 yellow. And for the final row of the top of Squaishey's head, just do an entire row of yellow wool, and what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this. Look at that adorable face. Once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the rest of the head, which is extremely easy, guys. So once you have got that completely taken care of, pause this if necessary, of course, you now want to move all the way around to the back of the head, and starting from this first initial row of 8 yellow wool, you want to add additional rows of yellow wool coming out of the back of that first row until you stick out of the back of the statue by 2 rows. So you want to end up with something that should look exactly like that. The back of the head overhangs the back of the statue by 2 rows, very much how the front of the head overhangs the front of the statue by 2 rows. Once you've got that taken care of, all you have to do now is take each one of these back 2 corners of the head, raise them up so they are equal height with the front of the face that we've just made, then connect them to the front of the face, and then also connect them to each other as well. And the result of this should be a nice, relatively empty, cubish looking shape, like this. Now what we have to do is simply completely fill it in with yellow wool, and then we'll be done. That will be our Squaishey statue 100% fully completed. As easy as that, guys, as easy as that. There's not really too much detail to the head whatsoever, nor the back really, nor the sides. Most of the detail really does just lie with the torso, and to some extent the front of the arms as well, and of course the face. I don't know why, but I think that the face is definitely my favourite part of this, and I don't even know why. I've got no clue. It just is. You know when you look at something and you don't know why you like it, but you just do. There's something in your brain that's just like that. Same thing with this statue, exact same thing. So what you want to end up with in total is something that should look a little bit like this, guys. Let me show you what the statue should look like in its full glory. Let me give you a nice 360 degree view. So now that the Now that we've got rid of that stupid UI, we can actually see what we've built. So this is what your 100% fully completed Squaishey Quack statue should look like. Like I said a couple of times, the statue's a little bit plain if you don't look at the front. If you just take a look at the back and the sides and most of the head and the front of the legs, really, the statue is a little bit plain, but the rest of it is quite wonderful. It really is. I like the statue, that's why I decided to throw her up to the top of the list. I really like the skin, it's nice, bright and colourful, and like I said, I don't know what it is about the face, but it just made me want to make it. It just did. I like it. If you look at it from this view, the statue is 100% fully perfect. Look at it. Look at it. It's a nice looking statue, nice, bright, colourful. I'd use his skin. I wouldn't, actually, that's a lie. I'm pretty much stuck on Spider-Man, but you know, if I wasn't, I'd probably use Carnage, but then maybe... No, I'd never use the skin, but I do like the statue. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you did manage to make it no problem. Feel free to throw me a like, share, favorite, anything that you guys are feeling like doing. Also, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section telling me which YouTuber statue you would like to see next. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you managed to make it. And remember, if you want to make any more YouTuber-related statues, feel free to check out the card system and the link below down in the description for my YouTuber playlist. See you guys in the next video.